Hey everybody, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. So I've got a pretty big story for you guys here, okay? I believe we are seeing the beginning of World War III right now. This may sound sensationalist, may sound like conspiracy theory crap, but I want you to just go over this timeline with me here. I'm about to go over a timeline and then you can figure it out for yourself. So first of all, China devalues its currency on August 11th and 12th. Drops it against the dollar by about 3.5%. Okay. That's going to hurt the U.S. economy. Our economists know it. Hell, Donald Trump even knows it. He came out and said the same thing. It's going to hurt our economy. While a 3.5% drop probably isn't going to devastate anything, the continuation of it would. So on the second day of that devaluation, boom, Tianjin chemical storage facility blows the hell up. And I mean, it was massive. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it. I'll try to remember to put a link down at the in the description below. You need to go watch it. I mean, it makes these skyscrapers look like little model buildings. So after that, the Chinese government starts arresting all these bloggers that are talking about it, okay? They're trying to keep any information that they don't release, that the Chinese government doesn't release. They don't want any information counter to that being released. Some 12,000 people were arrested because of information that was being leaked out, or things were being said and the government being questioned. The government wouldn't do that if it wasn't something major that happened at that chemical plant explosion, okay? I mean, it's bad enough that it was close to a residential area, but I don't know that that would even be embarrassing enough for the Chinese government to go around and arrest 12,000 people. I don't see that. Okay, so they continue to devalue their currency after the explosion, okay? And then, boom, yesterday, another chemical storage facility is hit by explosions. Okay, that's it was less than a half mile from a residential area, just like Tianjin. It's a port city, just like Tianjin. And it was under suspicious circumstances. And it had extremely volatile chemicals that were blown up, just like Tianjin. And they are keeping everything hush-hush. They don't want anything leaking out that they don't want leaked out. So it's, there isn't a lot of information about the explosions, and they're not really even talking about or even worried about finding out how it started. That's not something you hear about when things are being reported about either of those explosions. They don't even care. Probably because they know what happened. And they knew what happened. That's why, a day later, which is today, U.S. Army storage depot is blown up. Boom. In Japan. The Sagami storage facility in Sagamihara, Japan, blew up today and I believe is still on fire. So by themselves, these incidents probably aren't going to raise any eyebrows. But the sequence of events here is highly suspicious and may point to actual, what you could say, guerrilla warfare taking place. While it's conventional measures of, blowing shit up and killing people, it's an unconventional way of going about it. So it sounds to me like we didn't like China devaluing their currency. We wanted them to stop. So we blew up one of their chemical storage facilities to tell them to stop. They continue devaluing their currency. Boom, another one. And now China responds by blowing up one of our storage depots in Japan. Now, it wasn't an accident, okay? I want to point this out. That was not an accident. The U.S. Army storage depot explosion wasn't an accident. So one of two things are going on here. Either we blew up our own storage depot as a false flag event, or they blew it up in response to those chemical storage facilities being blown up. And let me explain why I've come to that conclusion. So the Defense Department came out on Sunday night and said that the building that was hit, quote, hit by the explosions and fire is not designated as a hazardous material storage facility and doesn't store ammunition or radiological materials. Okay? That's fair enough. That's, common statement. If that's not what they're storing there, then fine. Let's figure out what happened. And then the person that videotaped these explosions happening, and mind you, these explosions were going off for 15 minutes. So something explosive was there. Anyway, the lady that videotaped the explosions says it smells like gunpowder. Okay, so why are you lying about what is in the storage depot? Maybe it's not designated as a hazardous material storage facility and isn't supposed to be storing ammunition or radiological materials. But if that lady is smelling gunpowder, that means there's gunpowder there. I mean, what the hell are they stored in there? My Little Pony dolls? It's an army storage depot. There's probably ammunition there or some other kind of crazy, sarin gas. Who knows what they've got there? I mean, it's Japan, for crying out loud. They probably store all their crap at a Japan facility. Because Japan's been hit by so much radioactive crap, I don't think anybody is going to, bat an eye about having it there. Like, they're all screwed up anyway. So they're lying about that. And then there's something else I want to point out. Every time that it's mentioned about this explosion at the Army base, it's hit by explosions, okay? So I come over here to the Business Standard article. The very opening statement is, the Pentagon said that a U.S. Army base in Japan was hit by an explosion and fire was triggered. Now let me rephrase this in a way that maybe you kind of get where I'm going here. The Army base was hit by an explosion. Stop. And then fire was triggered. So it wasn't fire first that caused an explosion, not according to this article, and not according to the other articles that you read. This is why I believe that it could either be a false flag attack or an actual attack. And then you scroll down to the end of this Business Standard article, and it says, U.S. daily The Wall Street Journal reported that a spokesman for police in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan, said 2 steel pipes were found planted in the ground with electric cables in the camp. That's your smoking gun. That's the point of explosion origin, maybe pipe bombs, or it could be some kind of spark generating mechanism. Like if you were to take a strip of aluminum or some kind of metal, put it across the posts on a battery, you can start a fire because it'll create sparks. You touch the ends of it together and bzz, you got a spark. So maybe that's what it is. And it was set there to create sparks that would ignite something else or blow something up. But it's highly suspicious that they keep talking about the explosions that happened on the Army base as the explosion first, the fire second. And it's like that everywhere you read about it. And it uses the term hit by an explosion. Not rocked, not an explosion happened, or we don't know what happened, but there was an explosion and a fire. It was hit by an explosion, and then the fire was triggered. I mean, I can't make this stuff up, guys. And sure, some of you guys are going to be like, well, it's just semantics. You got your tinfoil hat on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been looking at this stuff for years, okay? Every time these things happen, it's the same damn story, and you've got to read between the friggin' lines, okay? You have to be nitpicky about the things that are reported, because the reports from New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, all these big newspapers and news organizations, they're propagandist tools. They're not independent journalism. They're not there to give you the news in the most fair and balanced way. No, they are there to put out the information that the government wants to be put out, but they're very good at hiding the fact that they're doing it in that manner so most people don't catch on to it. But you've got to pick out the things because they give you bits and pieces of information that you need to put the actual picture together. They give you all that you need, but you have to be willing to think outside of the damned box. That's why people like me or Dabu or, anybody else, they call us conspiracy theorists. They say we're crazy. And maybe some of the things we put together are wrong, but in this instance, I'm not wrong. And it's most likely that this Business Standard article is going to change. They're probably going to delete the last part there. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh on it, even though I believe I already have. Yeah, okay, I saved the article in a picture format just in case that happened. Okay, it's still showing the steel pipes at the bottom, so that's good at least. But I haven't seen that reported anywhere else than the Business Standard. But that's your smoking gun. That means it wasn't an accident. Okay, this was an attack. So either it was an attack based on, a lie from the government wanting you to think that they were attacked, or it was an actual attack, and we'll see how they respond to it from there. But we're going to wait to get more information about it before we can make the conclusion of whether it was a false flag or if it was an actual attack. But I'm going to say it was an actual attack by the Chinese government, because Japan's really freaking close to China. I mean, it's like right there. And Japan would be our jumping off point to China if we were to ever invade China, which I really hope it doesn't go that route. But I'm telling you, China would probably never invade our country, okay? If they wanted to go to war with us, they would never even have to leave. That's how volatile our country is right now. That's how reliant we are on everybody else for everything. We don't manufacture things in this country anymore, okay? So if World War III broke out, we would pretty much be screwed, because I guarantee you World War III is going to be everybody against the United States of America, because we are, in this situation, we are Nazi Germany. And it's going to be Russia and China, India, South Africa, probably even Israel going against us because of what we're doing around the world. You can't do that and not have people pay attention to that, okay? So China likely would never invade and actually put boots on the ground in this country, but Russia would. Russia would absolutely do that. And Russia and China have a pretty good relationship with one another, as well as China and North Korea, which is kind of weird, but, the Chinese government's very strict, very controlling. They don't have a free society, and neither does North Korea. So we'll see how this all pans out, but guys, I'm telling you, this is the beginning of the end. I don't remember who said it. I think it was Einstein. He said, I don't know what kind of weapons will be fought in World War III, but World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones. So I would suggest everybody prepare themselves for this, okay? This is the big one. This is it. And as far as the economy goes, we are collapsing, okay? It is collapsing. It's going to collapse at some point. We are in the middle of it. Like, it's happening. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. They thought the Great Depression was bad. This is going to be worse. This is going to be 10 times worse. And then when that happens and our economy fails and we can't provide our own stuff because we don't have the capabilities yet, it would take us too long to switch over to a manufacturing society. It's just going to take too long. So get ready for it. Y'all need to start preparing, get a damn bug out bag or something. Put your money in actual tangible items. Get some canned goods. Alright, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Peace out.